The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map. Take off.
G'day guys, what's cracking? It's Ralph here, and today I want to talk to you about the 6 reasons you might want to get a drone. These are the 6 reasons why I got a drone, because drones, folks, are epic. That's right. So I'm in my hometown of Melton, which you're going to see a little bit of from the sky in just a minute. But the problem with Melton is there's no good opportunities to take photos. And I realize I should push myself. But basically, the sun rises from here and there's nothing fun over there. And it sets over there and there's nothing fun over there with the exception of the weir. And the weir is fenced off. Yes, the public Melton Reservoir is fenced off to the public. The world's gone crazy. And so you're like, how do we access that? I was talking to my wife the other day. I'm like, I'm so frustrated. And then I'm like, babe, I'm going to take to the air. And hopefully not cut my head off in the process. Reason 1, it gives you access to places you don't have access to. People put fences up for all sorts of reasons, not necessarily because it's private property. Perhaps there's development or there's safety issues, or there's reasons why they don't want people walking around in those areas. And so with the drone, you can simply stay safe, you can move into those areas, and you can take a whole bunch of photographs that you wouldn't be able to take any other way. Maybe the biggest reason I have a drone is because it offers a different perspective. That's right, it's why people love drone photography. It's why the FPV world that is outlawed in Australia, ridiculous. Anyway, that's why the FPV world captures people's imaginations, because it takes you on a journey and it takes the viewer into spaces that you normally cannot access, and it gives you perspectives that you normally cannot see from. So top-down shots, for example, are captivating to me. There's just something beautiful about a top-down that gives you just a different angle on a subject that otherwise will be impossible for you to get, and especially when the sun's on the side and you can make the most of those shadows that it casts, or you can zoom up really high to 120. This is a school, so a school at 120 meters shot down. I captured the entire school. It's a very small school, but you wouldn't be able to see that without the benefits of a drone. These things are easy to use. Yes, you can set it up to be as sensitive or as numb in the sensitivity of the controls as you like, but you can have a whole bunch of customary settings. If you put it in the air and you just let go of it, it will hover like it did at the start of this video. You just don't need to worry about it. It hovers, and whilst it batters around by the wind, it holds the camera stable. And so if we were to take a video of it in high wind, you wouldn't be able to notice that it's in high wind because of the gimbal stabilization. So I would encourage you to buy a DJI drone, and the reason is they are light years ahead of anybody else on the market. They're quite affordable, which we'll get to in just a moment, but they offer such technology that they've taken their gimbal stabilization, they've pushed it into drones, and you just get this incredible cinematic view. You get these incredible photos that aren't blurry because the camera is held still even when the elements around you are raging. Let's talk about affordability. This isn't a reason you should buy something. You shouldn't buy something because it's cheap. But if you're pondering, do I get one? Gosh, they're affordable. They're a quarter of the price they were when they first came out. So in Australian dollars, you can get a drone first hand, say a Mini Pro 3 for just over $1,000, which is maybe $700 in the US. If you go second hand, you can't get the 3s yet, but you can get a 2 for as low as $300. You can buy a second hand drone that works really, really well for like 300 Australian dollars. It's cheap. It's insanely cheap for what you're getting. Now, there's a heap of accessories you can get with a drone. Having tried most of them, I think the only thing that's really worth your money, if you just wanted one, if you're like, what's the number one, it would be a circular polarizing filter. And they put on the front of your drone camera, and that means that when you shoot over water, it takes the glare out. You absorb more of the saturation of the image or the video that you're trying to shoot. And I just have mine on, and I set it just before we take off. So I look at the water and I hold the camera out and looking at my phone. I'm making sure that it's all good to go, and I'm happy with how the polarizing of the water is to my benefit. What about Care Refresh? Well, Care Refresh have now updated. That's what you buy when you first get a drone, if it's brand new. And do you go Care Refresh or not? Care Refresh this time gives you 2 replacements of your drone. The first, you don't even have to find your drone. So one of those replacements, not necessarily the first, could be the second. But if you lose your drone in the ocean, you don't have to claim the drone back. It used to be that you had to present the drone and say, here it is, it doesn't work. But now they've learned that drone pilots are maniacs. And so, yeah, if you lose your drone, you get one of those replacements, you don't have to actually show the drone. You just get the drone back, which is awesome. I got insurance on my drone, which is wonderful because I crashed the drone into the ocean. There's a video about that. You can have a geezer at that at the end of this video if you wish. What about the Flymore? Now, my first drone I ever bought, I didn't buy the Flymore, so I just had the drone, a battery and a controller, which was wonderful. It was really wonderful to start, but the problem is you've got nowhere to keep the drone because you want to keep the drone in something safe and is easy to move it around, and you also have one battery. So the Flymore setup isn't from Marvel. My kids put that on there. But it just drone goes safe in here, controller in here, and you get 3 batteries, folks. 3 batteries. And trust me, here's what I didn't realize: when you start flying a drone, it's contagious or addictive or something like that, and you want to just do it more and more and more. And if you fly your drone for 25 minutes on a battery, goes flat, and you're like, got to go home and charge it now and come out tomorrow. So 3 batteries can easily do you for one drone sesh. I frequently burn through all 3 of my batteries, and what I'm stoked about is that the new technology coming out is allowing these drones to fly for up to 45 minutes. So that's insane, right? Absolutely insane. Bit of an aside, bit of a fun story if you've stuck around this long. First time I ever flew a drone was over the ocean, and it wasn't my drone. And Pete's like, here you go. He gives me the controls. I go, what do? He goes, you press this button, do this, and I do it, and the drone takes off, and my heart's like, oh my gosh. And he's like, all right, just fly it out there. I'm like, dude, that's the ocean. He goes, yeah, you're right. I'm like, so much trust. And it was glorious. I don't have a clue what I was doing. I couldn't compose a photograph to save my life, and it was just insane. But we made it. I got his drone back to him, and then 12 months later, I crashed my own drone into the ocean. Yeah, glad I didn't crash his, though. That would have been horrific. These things are portable. I know it looks quite big here, but look, this shrinks down to this size. And as you saw from the video at the start, these little controller joysticks tuck in. And then this just folds in on itself. And as it folds in on itself, its footprint decreases dramatically. Look how tiny that is. That can actually go in the lens sleeve, in your camera bag. It's where mine goes when I go on a hike or go walking, something like that. I guess a hike is walking, isn't it? Yes. That's probably why you watch this video, for these stupid things I say. You're like, another reason to watch, another reason to subscribe. What? You're going to subscribe and like? Oh, come on. And so it's so portable. It's so small. It's light. It only weighs this much, which is nothing much at all, honestly. The weight of these. And if you ever get one of these drones and you never watch another video about a drone, when you take it out of the box, the propellers are meant to have no resistance or anything at all. It took me like an hour, and I even wrote to DJI to try and work out what was going on. They're not meant to. They're just flapping around in the breeze. It's only when you turn it on do they gain traction. Just a little bit of a tip. I know we're a little bit off mark, but if you're going to buy a drone, just know that. Also know that it probably takes about, it's probably a bit quicker now, but it could take up to an hour to set up your drone when you first get it. So don't take it out of the box when you're out where you're going to fly your drone. You might be disappointed. It sparks creativity, and that is such a core value to me and to this channel. You got to push into our creativity. Every single person on the face of this planet is creative. You are creative, and the sooner you believe that, and the sooner you start acting that, the more joy and more life will be given to your experience of this world. And drones just enable you. They trigger something creative because they take you to a new space, a new environment, a new option. And often I'll be driving along and I'll see something and I'll be like, oh, if only I had my drone, because it sparks that creativity. And when you have your drone and you're in that scenario and you're flying around, you're all of a sudden like, oh, and now I could do this and I could move here and I can do that and I can crash into this tree, and you can do it all. The creativity that it sparks is amazing. For some of you, this won't mean much at all. For me, it means kind of a great deal. It's therapeutic. It's why I take photographs. It's why I do video. It's therapeutic. It's cathartic. It enables me to move away from other stresses or tensions or difficulties or problems or hurts in life, and it transports me into a place that somehow brilliantly heals me. And I don't understand how that happens, but it does. It puts me back together. I think it's because we were created, and we're created beings, and when we are creative, there's something of that, our world gets put back together again, and I love that. And when you're with a drone, you actually don't want any other distractions. You're in the moment because you're flying around and you don't want to crash. You've got to pay attention to your drone rules. You have to. And the reason you have to is, one, because it's safe, but two, people go, oh, I can do it. But what they're doing is stuffing it up for the rest of us, because the rules have got tighter and tighter and tighter because people have gone, I'm just going to break the rules for this one occasion. And that's the problem. So it's actually team sport, guys. So if we pay attention to the rules, and every different country has different rules, but know your rules, know what your limitations are, and you can enjoy the freedom, the cathartic and therapeutic freedom of flying a drone. I hope this has been very helpful, beneficial, and possibly entertaining. Yeah, you'll have to put it down in the comments below. Please subscribe, like, and if you want any other drone videos about anything in particular about flying a drone, please let me know, because I love flying it. I don't make a great deal of videos about drones, maybe a couple, but not all the time. But if there's questions you have that I can answer and help with, or projects you think should do this, Ralph, come on, I'm in. Thanks, everybody. See you later. Bye.